And we are live. Perfect. So just letting you know, there is Irina, who is our director, and she's recording how I'm talking with you through the camera. Usually we do live interviews where we meet up and have a tea or coffee and talk, but not today because of lockdown. Anyway, I'm really excited and I hope you will enjoy the interview. So,
thanks very much.
First of all, thank you very much for joining me in the series of interviews with Scottish entrepreneurs. And Suhit, I know you have quite a very successful story with your company. And I know about your personal battles with health at the same time, and you're such a talented young person, which makes me feel a bit unease, let's say. So I'm really excited and happy to talk with you.
Thanks. I appreciate the kind words.
So you're 19.
Yep.
It's already quite a lot to process for the person who is 31, and I'm 31. How do you feel about being 19 and being through so much stuff already?
I don't know, it's weird because obviously, 19 is still so young, but at the same time, I feel like through my kind of experiences and what I've done, really, I feel like a lot older in some ways, because obviously I've experienced a lot more than a lot of people have. And obviously, running a company at my age as well is very different. I'm not even finished university yet. So it feels weird, but at the same time, I absolutely love it because I'm just trying to grasp every opportunity I can at such a young age because, just through my personal battles and stuff, it's just clear to me that, life can potentially end at any time. So just follow your ambitions and do whatever you want to do from an early age.
Very true, very true. From my side, I want to say I've been living very sheltered life before I was 24, and I didn't, you grow up very quickly, but I went to become adult when I think I became 25 or something like that. And it's such a big difference, I would say, between, and I think completely grow up, I'm just now. It's kind of a process to go through all the stages. And yeah, to be honest, I think it can be very fruitful for the person to give this understanding of value of life as early as possible. I don't know, maybe it should be taught to kids about sharing experiences in life, kind of showing them different sides of life, how life can be. I never was taught that, and I thought life is unicorns and everything gonna be just peachy until I was 24, and for me it was very difficult to go through adult period of life. So yeah, in terms of your studying, I know you study in St. Andrews University. What do you study?
Yeah, so I do economics and management at St. Andrews University. So I'm in my second year just now. So I've obviously got this year and then 2 more years left, and then that'll be me graduated. So currently I'm in Glasgow just now because that's where I live, but I'll be going back to St. Andrews shortly after this call. But yeah, it's good fun. And it's very different from what life is like in Glasgow. It's such a small town and everything, but it's really interesting.
It's such a lovely place. Do you live in student accommodation there, or are you renting a place?
So yeah, so in second year, most second years rent a flat. So in first year, you're in student accommodation, and then second year, you usually go and move into a flat. So we're in a flat just on one of the 3 main streets of St. Andrews.
It's such a beautiful place. I remember I visited it last year, I think, during the summer, and all the people were on the beach having fun, drinking some wine, and having like nice food. It was awesome. Do you spend summers there, or you come back to Glasgow?
No, so I only lived there for university. This week, obviously, I'm back here because we have a reading week, and I had a couple of doctor's appointments and whatnot. But I'm only there for university. But it's such a lovely town. Like it's its own wee world in some ways. Like it's just so different to kind of everywhere else, and it's such a small town, like a wee bubble. And everything there is just so nice. But yeah, it's a lovely place, and I'm really enjoying it. And it was a great decision to go there, in my opinion.
What about COVID? How does it feel there?
So it's weird doing university and coronavirus, like completely weird. Like it's so different from last year when you'd
Yeah.
been a big lecture theatre with like 100 other people, and then now you're literally sat at your desk all day on on a computer looking on Zoom calls and stuff. In St Andrews, we've actually been surprisingly lucky. We've only got currently 6 cases of coronavirus within the university, whereas other universities have hundreds now. But I suppose it's because we're obviously a lot smaller, the university up there as well, so this cases are going to be less. But I think the university are taking it very seriously and trying to make sure that they, try and eliminate as many cases as possible. But yeah, it is very different doing university this year, and obviously you can't meet as many people and socialize as much because things are all cancelled. Sports is all completely different, but just getting through it and trying to make the most of what we have, I suppose.
What about doing business why it's COVID? Is it as different as studying?
Like running the business through
Yeah.
coronavirus. Yeah, so it's definitely been interesting, for all businesses. For my company specifically, it's not. I've been very lucky that our company is very digital and already very much online, and everything that we do with our marketing and influencer marketing is social media based. So it has been very lucky in that respect that we've not been, hit as badly, such as like hospitality and all these places which have had to completely close, which is terrible. But it has been challenging. Everyone working from home within the team, making sure everything's running smoothly. And then also some, we work with a lot of brands and, big companies, and a lot of them have frozen their marketing budgets. So they're spending less on marketing, which obviously affected us. But it's interesting. We had a bad couple of months through, peak coronavirus time. So back in kind of June and May, but we're slowly getting through that, and recovering, and things are kind of looking on the up for the remainder of the year, which is a good sign.
I think all the companies kind of realize that freezing their marketing budget is not the solution for current situation, because if you don't have marketing, especially digital marketing now, you basically don't have business. We kind of went through the same stages. We have a marketing agency, and uh, in the beginning of the year, we were like, oh my gosh, what we're gonna do? But in fact, it just helped our business. It's kind of silver lining for us, because all the companies, they need social media, they need digital marketing, and
Yeah.
they have no capabilities to do it. So it's very basically they are there to help, and you're doing the similar thing. And I'm very happy to talk to someone who understands the market and uh, kind of in the same business with us. For example, could you explain to the people who never heard about influencer marketing, what is it, and how do you help companies to achieve their business goals?
Yeah, sure. So let's kind of get the context about what we do and who we are. So I run Saulderson Media. We're a premium talent management and influencer marketing agency. So essentially, we have two sides of the business. We have the talent management sector and the influencer marketing side. So the talent management side is very simply, we exclusively manage social media personalities. So YouTubers, Twitch streamers, Instagram personalities. So social media influencers, we handle them as if a management would handle like an artist or a model or an actor. So we help them with schedules, bookings, sponsorships, brand deals, all of that, and essentially help them turn their passions into a career online. And then on the influencer marketing side, so basically what influencer marketing is in its kind of simplest form is essentially, say we have a brand, let's say, I don't know, like Polo, comes and they want to advertise their new range of shirts. The best, and they, we will kind of work with them and identify the best potential route to market is by promoting using social media influencers. So essentially, what we do with them is we utilize our extensive network of social media influencers to promote brands, products, and services in the goal of returning a measurable return on investment for them. So that can come anywhere from posts with influencers, social media, or attending events, or YouTube videos and things like that. Everything that kind of encapsulates some sort of creativity and engagement with social media creators. And one thing that's kind of like so powerful about influencers is that nowadays, especially with kind of the Gen Z and millennial generations, the majority of our purchasing choices are made based on what we see on the internet and through word of mouth of our favorite influencers. So promotion from them is so valuable for a company, because it obviously people will associate that brand with their favorite influencer and then want to purchase because of that. So it's a very powerful form of marketing, and it can be used to amplify basically everything on social media and digital.
That's awesome. So how exactly works what you're doing? You have this base of influencers, and do you contact B2B clients or they contact you?
So it's a bit of both. So essentially, how we work on the agency side is we've built this network of over 1,500 creators that we have access to run campaigns with, and that covers all sorts of verticals from gaming, fashion, beauty, tech, lifestyle. So all different types of influencers who can target different demographics, different audiences, different reach. Because obviously every brand is going to have a different target market. So obviously, we have to utilize the correct influencers that can hit that. Either brands will come to us, or we will go to brands and obviously try and network and run campaigns for them, or through our exclusive talent, brands come to our exclusive influencers to run deals with them, and it's often we'll convert that brand to become an agency client and run a bigger campaign with them. So it's very much both ways. Brand would come to us, or we will go to a brand. We've been lucky to work with some pretty notable companies. And then from there, we've had some, good PR and good promotion, obviously. And then other big brands have been able to come to us from that. But obviously, when you're first starting out your business, you're the ones that will be going to the brands to try and obviously sell your services. So it's still a bit of both.
Yeah, that sounds great. We're gonna edit it. So Rina, could you just so we're gonna edit this part of the interview because I'm gonna talk with Suhit about not interview questions. Sorry. So it's not, I'm gonna put it beside the interview and just generally in terms of what you're doing. Would you be, I just see how we can collaborate. And for example, if we would send you some clients, which, so what we do, companies comes to us and we do for them whole marketing. So it's not just influencers. So we do influencers, but not that much. We manage their social media. We create content like photo, videography, everything. So they do like email kind of services and all the different stuff. But you have this very niche area where you're an expert. And for example, if we have clients which could be needed influencers, we can collaborate somehow on this area, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm very open to that. Like what we tend to do with a lot of agencies is kind of create this mutually beneficial partnership. So for example, even within influencer world, there's all agencies have their influencers that they can have access to. We might not have access to some of them. So it's just we create mutually beneficial partnerships with other agencies where we can tap into their network, they can tap into ours, and likewise. And then also with general social media agencies, for example, if any of our clients ever want stuff like content creation or social media management stuff that we don't specifically handle, then we can pass it on to other agencies that we work with, and if their clients want influencer campaigns or specialist stuff, then they can come to us. So I'm very happy to do that.
That's great. Do you already working with some agencies?
Pardon?
Are you already working with some? Are you already in the partnerships with some marketing?
So it's nothing like signed. There's no like signed exclusive agreements. It's just more kind of like gentleman agreements. If there's specific stuff that they handle that we can't, then we can pass to there, and likewise. So it's just kind of more mutually beneficial in terms of if someone's got a client that need influencer marketing stuff, they're happy to kind of run through us, and obviously they can.
Yeah.
It's their client, but obviously we'll obviously be contracted for a specific part of whatever campaign.
Sounds good. And in terms of just generally, how much does it cost? Is it expensive? Maybe we can put it already into interview. So Erina, could you start? Thank you. So I will come back to you on this. Maybe the center follow-up meeting about it. Regarding their generally, so sometimes you contact clients, sometimes clients contact you, but I think for many companies it's kind of a stop in their head that influencers are very expensive. Is it true? Would you agree on this? Or is it only big brands who can use influencers, or there are different influencers for different size of brands?
Yes, so this is one of the misconceptions that a lot of brands think, because influencer marketing, although it's been around for I think around a decade now, it's still relatively new in a lot of people's heads, and a lot of brands don't realize, and everyone just thinks that the only return you're going to get is if you activate, a massive influencer. I don't know, and a lot of people use example like someone like Kim Kardashian or whatever, utilizing someone as big as her. That's obviously going to cost you hundreds of thousands, even millions, work with someone like her. So it's a common misconception that you can only work with the biggest creators and it's going to be really expensive. But within influencer marketing, there's tiers of influencers. So everywhere from your celebrity influencers, mega, macro, mid, micro, and nano. So a lot of smaller brands, when they're first starting out, will try to activate across nano and micro influencers who are relatively small, but they have a really engaged audience. So what you typically see with influencers is as they grow in size, their engagement falls. So the smaller the creator, although they have a smaller reach, they actually have a higher engagement. So more often than not, it's actually more beneficial to target some smaller creators who will actually have an engaged audience within whatever niche you're looking for. So if you want to activate some of the top creators, it will be very expensive, but there are also opportunities to build up kind of smaller partnerships with smaller creators, or, do product placements or affiliates or commissions or whatever. So it's very much open within the influencer world based on kind of the brand and the budget and the specification of what they're looking for. So there are plenty of opportunities to work, regardless of your business size within an influencer. A lot of startups have actually become successful just through, utilizing influencer marketing all the way from the get-go. If you think of, one of the biggest fitness brands in the world, Gymshark, they kind of put their success to utilizing influencers right from the beginning. And obviously they started with, just sending out their influencers products and giving them, free Gymshark clothes and smaller cries. And then obviously as their business is going through that promotion, they've been able to activate some of the biggest athletes and people in the world. So there's plenty of scope regardless of the size of your company.
That's really interesting. But could you give me some numbers?
It's so dependent on whatever kind of content. So for example, if you think about it, so each social media platform has different rates for influencers. So for example, the cost of a dedicated video on YouTube is going to be far higher than the cost of Instagram story, for example. So it highly depends on the influencer, as well as that there's also depends on the vertical. So for example, a beauty influencer might be less expensive than a travel influencer. But for example, you could typically see CPMs on, if we're going, usually a lot of brands kind of target it on like a CPM or a CPA model. So cost per 1,000 views or cost per acquisition and whatnot. So you could typically see on YouTube, if you're doing like a YouTube video integration, which is usually like an ad spot of like 60 seconds in a video, you could see anywhere from like kind of a $10 to $20 CPM for dedicated videos, places from like $30 up. Instagram posts, kind of it really depends if from like a $5 to $15 CPM for posts and stories and whatnot. But again, it's so dependent on the influencer and their engagement and everything. Because I couldn't give you one number. For example, Kim Kardashian, I'm pretty sure I'm fairly certain I've seen a poll from her with like one post on her account has costed over $1 million. Just for one post, whereas some smaller creators are charging hundreds of pounds or even 50 quid or thousands or whatever. It's so dependent on the size and the following of the creator. So it would really much more depend on like a brand with specification, and then you can obviously fill within influencers within there. So it's so wide and varying, unfortunately, within the space, which is why it's always good to have an agency running it for you, because obviously they'll know kind of what pricing points to go for, as opposed to if a brand's going in they can easily just get scammed by an influencer, who's asking for a lot more than they're actually worth, and a brand who's never done it before might not realize and just pay that and see no return.
Is it only for B2C companies?
No, actually. So B2C is the main area for influencer marketing. So you will see that most brands will use influencers to try and target consumers. But right now, one thing that's rising a lot is B2B with influencer marketing. So how a lot of brands do that is obviously they can use LinkedIn influencers, for example, to target various people within their network. But another thing is that they use industry experts. So brands are kind of utilizing industry experts who might have a following within their industry, and brands might look up to them for their content and whatnot, and that's how they can target B2B. But B2B is still relatively small right now. It's only really kind of getting off the ground, but we specifically focus on B2C within my agency. But I have a few contacts and people that I know who do B2B, and that's slowly kind of gaining traction at the moment.
Oh, that sounds great. I will ask you to share contacts and maybe to do some introductions. It will be great to chat with people about B2B market.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Do you have like some influencer in mind which you would love to have in your portfolio?
That I'd love to work with, or to, sorry,
Yeah.
you cut off there.
Yes, kind of to work with, kind of manage them, and
Yeah, definitely. So like the way I kind of started my company is I came through very much a gaming route. So I've always, I was when I was young, I used to like playing games and whatnot. And when I first started the company, before starting social media, I was working at a esports company with an influencer marketing. So that's professional gaming. So initially when we started social media, we're very much focused on the gaming market because that's a huge market for influencer marketing. So a lot of the clients and a lot of the companies we still work with are still gaming and lifestyle kind of areas. So there's definitely a kind of a few of the big notable UK gaming creators that I'd love to work with and love to exclusively manage on our end. There's a group of creators called the Sidemen, who are like the biggest base of UK creators, and they all came through a gaming background and now are into lifestyle. So we've been able to do a bit of work with them. I know a few of the guys there. I've done quite a few campaigns with some of the group, but a dream would be to like manage some of them like exclusively and have them signed to our agency, because they're like literally the pinnacle of UK YouTube at this moment.
That's it's so exciting to hear someone's being so passionate about what you're doing. It's very, very nice, and I'm very happy that we had this conversation. I'm gonna move us to our blitz round, where I'm gonna ask you short questions, and please try to use short answers, maybe
That's fine.
a sentence, a few words. So how do you see yourself in 5 years?
Just finishing uni and going full time on the business.
Yay. Okay. Where are you planning to live?
So for just now, Scotland for sure, but I would definitely want to move to somewhere in America, I imagine.
Oh wow, why America?
Just the American market for influencers and just everything in general is just so much bigger. Like
Yeah.
the UK market it's relatively big, but it's still fairly small. But if you go to America with an influencer, anything, America's just got such much bigger market. So
Yeah, I feel you. I think local market is very conservative. So in
yeah.
comparison with America, they have like marketing agencies have more opportunities. What is the most important in life?
Family, probably. Family for sure.
I love this answer. And how do you see your business in 3 years?
In 3 years, I want to be one of the most well known within the UK space for sure.
Oh wow, that's cool. And yeah, I think we're done. Thank you so much, Suhit. It was so cool. And could you please tell to our viewers how they can find you? Do you use social media, or what is the best source of contact with you?
Yes, if you want to contact me directly, it'd be Instagram or Twitter. And my ats are just at Suhit Amin on both. And then if you want to learn more about the company, then just search up Saulderson, and then the website and the social media should come up there.
Perfect, amazing. So, guys, please follow Saulderson Media, follow Suhit Amin personally, and if you have anything related to influencers market, Suhit is totally gonna help you. Would you be happy to kind of just answer people's question if they have some, or would you be okay if they would contact you via LinkedIn or something like that?
Yeah, that's completely fine. I'm always open to helping people with any question with an influencer, or if anyone wants to ask anything, then they're more than welcome to drop me a message.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So here I'm gonna stop the recording just right now and stop.